What is good, everybody? It is Mark here on a Tuesday at Weekday Wagers. And listen, yes, I'm wearing my LA Charger powder blue. What a great win last night. And we'll get to what DG has to do because he lost his showdown. We'll get to that. Normally, I would be so excited to gloat over that. But this is not a normal Tuesday. I can't wait. I am so thrilled for today and who we have sitting in with us here at the Weekday Wagers. I can't wait to show you who's here. But before we get into that, we do have to kind of look back and see what happened last night. And the running back attack for me cashed last night. Unfortunately, DG's Keenan Allen play. He ended up with 3 receptions instead of going over to the 4 limited targets last night. But that's what happened last night. I know why everybody's here. And they want to know who we have as a special guest. You know what? It's Rob.
Me.
It's Rob. Robbie, first of all, what did you think of that game last night? And how are you doing on this Tuesday?
I'm doing great. I thought the game was ugly. I watched more hockey than I did football last night, actually. DG, you're welcome. Your friend in low places got your Saquon Barkley cash, so hopefully that didn't hurt you too bad. And as you know from my text this morning, I had like a plus 10,000 missed by one Dylan Larkin goal or Alex DeBrincat goal. So, yeah. Other than that, it was a nice night.
The one big cat goal away from a nice payout.
Yeah.
Look. Should we just get right to our picks?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Just do that. I can't. You know what? Screw that. Let's just bring him in right now.
Let's do it.
If for people who have been watching our space, you know how big of fans we are of the Early Edge family. You know that we have a lot of friends over there. But we have the opportunity today to welcome in Mr. EC himself, Mr. Eric Cohen. Eric, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Gentlemen, Mark, Robbie, glad to be on with you guys. I love what you guys are doing. Robbie, you're a hockey wizard. You can teach me a few things. Just saying, listen, I get into hockey for the playoffs, but before then, I kind of let it slide. So I'm going to learn from you. You know, I paid a little attention here and there. You're going to teach me here. It's great to be on with you guys. I appreciate, you watching what we did at Sportsline. I'm sad that, not there anymore. The Paramount job cuts got me, but I had an incredible time. Did almost 358 shows there, part of the Early Edge family. And yes, I counted and cracked my record. And we had a great time. So I hope, I haven't been in the analyst chair in a while, usually done, some hosting. So I'm glad to be on. Glad to see some of you in the chat. Nice to be able to interact with you all again. And thanks for watching the show.
And so, EC, for those people who maybe didn't catch you over at the Early Edge in those days, give us a little bit about your background. I mean, what got you into sports handicapping in the first place, and what kind of sports what do you like to handicap?
I'll give you the 30-second background. I previously had worked in television and sports radio in Phoenix, and before I worked for Sportsline, was at Caesar Sportsbook. I was in charge of operations in Arizona when they launched in 2021. I got to Sportsline in 22, and thanks to a few people, including your buddy AB, got me on the air. And it's actually the 3-year anniversary next week of when I made my first Early Edge appearance. Was lucky to do Early Edge in 5 for quite a while, and worked with Coach, who I appreciate, and AB and a lot of those guys. And when they departed, I got a chance to host some shows, so I was able to work with Sia, who's awesome, Prop Stars, Uncle Dave, and many other Sportsline people that I'm not mentioning. Spectre, my good buddy, who's no longer with Sportsline either, but great guy. I love going on just like guys at a bar and talking sports. College football is my number one. NFL is right there. MLB, college basketball. I mean, I'm wearing my Arizona Wildcats. Number one in the country in college basketball. Number 17 in football. I co-host an Arizona podcast called Wildcat Country. We've done that for over 5 years, just kind of my side project. And as far as sports betting, I bet a lot. More of an action guy. I'm not necessarily the amount of money I'm betting. My unit size is not ridiculous, like $50 is an average unit size, I'd say, for me. But the amount, like if there's a game on, I want to bet it. So that's my philosophy.
Well, you bring up, that you love football. I do have to ask you, because I think getting your perspective on this, especially at this moment in time with the college football playoffs having been set, what is your take on the outcome and the results that the committee came up with, and especially with Notre Dame as it pertains to Notre Dame?
I think it's a mess, because if you're going to not move Alabama a spot, but you're going to move down BYU, that makes no sense. Right. So I don't understand that. As far as Notre Dame, Miami should have been ahead of them to begin with. I think Notre Dame is the better team, but you had to put Miami based on head-to-head. Otherwise, what does head-to-head mean? So I understand why Notre Dame is upset. I feel like Notre Dame probably belonged. I mean, they didn't really beat anybody. They beat USC at home. They beat Boise State at home. Where's that great win? They didn't have an amazing win on their schedule. So I wouldn't have put Alabama in. I'm not sure I would have put Notre Dame in, but BYU was 11-1 in the regular season with their only loss to the number 4 team in the country. I'm just saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now,
and their AD came out today and said it was a generational 10-game winning streak. You beat Boston College 24-10. There's nothing generational about that.
That's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a load of crap. And I understand what he's trying to do, but no one's buying it. You guys need to join a conference if you want to really be taken seriously. Instead, you get 8 4-hour infomercials on NBC every year. It's a joke.
I was just going to ask you about that, because it really did feel like, listen, I'm a Notre Dame guy, as you can tell right behind me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mark.
But I really felt like, and this is going to be coming from a Notre Dame fan, a not very popular take, they do need to join a conference. They can't have their cake and eat it too. They are in a conference for every other sport. They're in the ACC for every other sport and have chosen to remain as an independent for football. Why? Because it's a money grab. And I think then if they want to get the respect, they could have gotten into the ACC championship game and then lost to Virginia, and then the argument would have been easy. You didn't get in because you lost to Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it. I think the ACC basically doubly screwed Notre Dame, because if Miami gets in, which they should have over Duke, Miami probably beats Virginia, and that last spot goes to Notre Dame over BYU, though I'm not sure it should have. So the ACC really, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm getting the heck out of the ACC. I'm getting rid of that alliance. They totally screwed you in multiple ways. I'm out.
Where do you think they go if that's the path that they go? Do they end up in the SEC or in the Big Ten?
I mean, the SEC makes no sense. The Big Ten is where they should be. I mean, you have the Michigan State Alliance, where they played in the past. They're just Indiana, Notre Dame. That's what people want to see.
Yes.
You want to see geographical rivals. USC is now in the Big Ten. Don't even get me started. I mean, like they're their top rival. So I think it's a no-brainer that Notre Dame has to be affiliated with the Big Ten in some capacity.
Okay.
I agree.
So let's shift gears a little bit. Robbie, I'm going to start with you, because you got the Florida Gator banner behind you. They have got a huge basketball game tonight. We're going to shift gears to the hard court against UConn.
Yeah.
What is your take? What's your impressions on that game?
It's going to be a huge game. It's going to be a good game, I think, too. Going to be very similar to that Duke game. Boogie Flynn has like 200 people in the crowd tonight, so he's got a lot of extra incentive. But again, if our shooting from beyond the arc isn't any better, we're going to lose this one too. Our shooting has got to be better beyond the arc. Lee has got to finally start stepping up, and it's just a matter of will he step up. If not, I think it's going to be time to find somebody else to fill his spot.
Yeah, and I saw that the game against Duke, Florida really did improve their outside shooting. They were really stayed in that game. It was a lot closer than people anticipated. I'm curious, EC, what you think of is this Florida team? I know do they have the same caliber that they did last year when they made the championship run?
No.
And
No.
how do they get back there then?
Well, I mean, you probably don't when you lose two guys who are, in Clayton and Richard, one was a first rounder, one was a second rounder, both who were playing in the NBA. Those guys just don't grow on trees. So, Todd Golden did a nice job, keeping them afloat, and they have some good players. But I like to call this game tonight the U of A loser matchup, because my school, number one in the country, beat Florida in the season opener in Vegas, went on the road to Stores and beat UConn. So I'm going to be, I don't really have a preference as to who wins. Now, Robbie, you're not going to like my pick here, but I'm gonna give you two options of how I would play this game. Okay. I would play it Florida and over, or UConn and under, because I don't think UConn is going to try and outscore Florida. UConn's going to try to make it a half-court game, kind of like Duke did. Now, Florida almost won that game, but I would play UConn and under 147.5, and if you like Florida with the points, I would play them and over. That would be my suggestion.
So
no, and honestly, I agree with that take. None of that hurts my feelings. I'm still hungover from our national title win, but
you can't complain, right? Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, no. I did though on this show when you guys played UConn, and this guy to my left said that UConn was going to roll in that game, and I said no. Arizona's going to go into UConn. Not only going to cover, they're going to win that game because they beat Florida, and Florida was better than UConn.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed that you did that because I actually did not pick that. I did not think Arizona would win that game. I thought I picked every Arizona game right. I thought we'd beat Florida. I thought we'd beat UCLA. I thought we'd beat Auburn. I did not think we would beat UConn. Yeah, and I was very, very surprised. So I got to give you a lot of credit for that pick.
He is not blowing sunshine because that's the pick that he did make, much to my chagrin. We do have a question, though. So, EC, I am going to hold your feet to the fire on this one. What do you think of the under? Not either or.
I mean, I like UConn to win. I like UConn to win the game.
Okay.
And I think UConn needs to slow the game down to prevent Florida from getting into a track meet. So I personally am playing the under. Now, what I'll do with it and what I like to do is I'll buy points. So I'll probably play UConn money line and 155.5, put the under there, get that at even money or whatever it is, and put that in a parlay with BYU and over in that game.
So, and to be clear, this game is not being played in Stores; it's being played in Madison Square Garden. And
right.
And for teams, and this was key in that Arizona UConn game, and it's been that way for every kind of big matchup so far that we've had this season at the Garden. The under has come in on every single one of those games simply because it's a depth perception. A lot of these schools, and I don't know about where Arizona plays, but it's not an arena. And so when they get to the Garden, it's a hard time. They have a hard time adjusting to the depth perception. It's kind of like when schools come here to play at Syracuse at the Dome. You don't have that backdrop that you do in a smaller gym. It takes a while to get acclimated to that. Slows the pace down. Shooting comes off. They don't shoot as well. Unders tend to hit. Any thoughts on that, Robbie?
No, I agree with you. And I just keep thinking back when Florida, I always go to the Florida Vandy game here, and Vandy plays in like a literal high school gym. Like it is not very big at all. But you can tell the difference in shooting when Florida plays there and then when they go somewhere like tonight. And I think you hit on this on another game we had earlier this year on one of the shows. You said the same thing, and you had picked the under, and it came through. So, yeah, I definitely think there's something to that.
And EC, where does Arizona play? I simply just don't know.
Well, Arizona plays in Tucson, obviously, at the McHale Center. We are playing on Saturday at Alabama. That's not a game I would be betting Arizona in. I think, now number one team in the country, Alabama's going to, the game's in Birmingham, but I mean, it's close enough to Tuscaloosa. I don't like Arizona's chances, so they're a fade for me. I mean, I won't bet against my team, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I would be very surprised if Arizona won that game on Saturday.
Gotcha. Well, listen, I know that because when EC and I were emailing each other back and forth about the show, I think, you know what? We still have time, EC. If you've got some NFL leans that you want to jump into, maybe get out ahead of before lines start moving, I'll do this. Let's do this. What are 2 plays for this coming NFL weekend?
Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't looked at lines. I just have my score predictions here. So I have score predictions on every game. One that I would look at is I have to look up the lines as we speak because I haven't kind of really dug into that. I kind of like the over in Buffalo, New England. Now, I don't know what the weather looks like up there in the Northeast, but I think 49 and a half. I have this game 28-26, so it goes over by almost a touchdown. I think the first matchup was lower scoring. I think we're going to see a higher scoring game there. New England coming off a bye. Buffalo's offense is rolling. We saw that against Cincinnati, so I'm going over there as long as there's no weird weather. But, hey, they were in a snowstorm the other day, and they crushed. The other one that I'm going to roll with, and this one, I got to double-check the line here. Yeah, I'm going to go with the under in Dallas, Minnesota. Call me crazy. I'm going with the under. I have it as Cowboys 23, Vikings 17. The over-under is 47.5. So to me, that's a touchdown. Obviously, I'm predicting a touchdown less than the spread. That Minnesota defense is legit. I don't see Dallas scoring 30 points. And do you really trust Minnesota's offense again? They had a great performance against Washington, but Dallas's defense has been better with the exception of Jahmyr Gibbs the other night in Detroit. So I'm going under in that game. So we got over in Buffalo, under in Dallas, Minnesota. There you go.
I like it. And you're going to love this, EC, because there's a name that you'll never forget. Big Cheesy showed up in the chat. Just enough to bust your chops.
I got to say this. Hey, listen. I'm going to say this. I love seeing a lot of you guys in the chat. I just saw Sia's in the chat. My guy Sia. He is one of the best. I can't say enough good things about Sia. So much fun to work with. I really will miss doing golf shows with him. He is the absolute best. Cheesy, Rick, I see in the chat. I'm going to miss some of you guys. Zach in the chat. Rick Z. I mean, a bunch of you guys. Like Scotty Too Hottie. Like, love seeing you guys in the chat. Thank you for for following these guys because they're doing a great job. But it's great to be on and chat with you guys again.
Well, listen, the chat is absolutely buzzing. And before things get too spicy between you and Cheesy, we better hear from our resident.
Cheesy's my guy. Cheesy's my guy.
Well, let's hear from our resident chef, our guy, Seabass.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's gonna turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
EC, I know you're new here, but Seabass did that in one take, in case you didn't know. But tonight, we're going Chris Kreider, 1+ point at -120. Love this spot for the Ducks, and I love the spot for Pittsburgh. I think there's a lot of goals that can be scored, especially considering Anaheim's goalie situation. But Kreider has the experience. He played for the Rangers. He's faced Pittsburgh a ton in his career. The last time they played on October 15th, Kreider scored 2 goals in that game. He has 9 goals and 4 assists in his last 10 games against the Pens. He's averaging almost 4 shots on goal against Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh defense has allowed 1+ point to the left wing position in 8 of their last 10 games as well. They gave up 4 goals and 8 assists during that run. I really like Anaheim. I also have a play at justastatsports.com using my Bet365 boost where I've got 3 other guys in this game for a point. But yeah, give me Chris Kreider for 1+ point at -120.
All right, I got 2 for you. You can put them in a parlay here. I like Jalen Suggs 20 or more points tonight at +128. I got this on FanDuel. Now he's over this line in 2 of his last 3 games. In his last 7 games where he's played 26 or more minutes, which he's going to do tonight, he has averaged more than 16 shots per game and more than 19 points per game. But there's no Franz Wagner, whose average is nearly 23 a game. And Paulo Banchero, not sure if he's cleared for a full workload in his 3rd game back off a long injury. Suggs had 22 against the Heat last week. This is the equivalent of a playoff game in the NBA Cup. Suggs over 20 points +128 at FanDuel. And then I had to come on the show and do a little weird college basketball, like our old early edge in 5 days Give me the Morgan State DePaul over 151.5. You can find that at -110. So the key here is DePaul getting to 90 points, which they've done 3 times against inferior foes at home this season. Morgan State has given up 84 or more points in half of their games. 6 of their games have gone over this total. 5 of 9 DePaul games have gone over this total as well. I see something like 92-67, which gives us about 7.5 points to the over. That's the EC model. No great AI model like these guys have, but I'm going over in Morgan State DePaul 151.5.
I love it, especially when we start talking about overs. And I am going with the Michigan team total over 85.5. They are playing Villanova. And let me just throw some numbers at you real quick. 101, 101, 102, 94, and 86. And no, that isn't the average temperature at EC's house right now in Arizona. That is the number of points that Michigan has put up against teams like Auburn, Gonzaga, San Diego State, Rutgers, Villanova. They won't have a chance in this game. Michigan is going to pull away and pull away big. And when they do, they are going to put up a ton of points. I think that they actually eclipse triple digits in this one. EC, I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that Michigan-Villanova matchup.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards the over there too, Mark. I just don't, we can't bet team totals here in Arizona. Okay. So that's something I wish we could. But you can do it for the NFL, but you can't do it for college. So, but I like it. I'm there with you guys. So it's a good pick and good pick. Robbie, I'm not doubting anything you throw out with hockey. I mean, I haven't thrown a hockey. I tried when there was no NBA to throw some hockey in there. Didn't go so well for me. I am totally throwing your Kreider pick in there. So let's go -120. Love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hockey, we get to do a thing here, EC. We call it the Daily Dinger or the Light the Lamp. And we're going to go down and just kind of pick out who we think is going to score a goal tonight and get on the score sheet. We got Nathan McKinnon at -105, Leon Draisaitl +120, Morgan Geekie at +160, Taj Thompson at 180, and Leo Carlson, the quack for DG at +200. EC, as the guest of honor, is there anybody that you like on this list, or are you going to go with the bold move and go somebody off the board?
All right, I'm going to be honest, guys. Now, I haven't done full NHL prep mode because we're in football season, but I have never heard of Morgan Geekie and Leo Carlson. I have no idea. I know McKinnon, Draisaitl, obviously, and Tage Thompson, but I literally couldn't tell you those two. And I mean, I shouldn't admit that, but it's true. I love Draisaitl here, but the odds, I saw him just at +105 a little bit earlier. I'm going to go with a little bit more. Let's go a little bit longer down the board. Let's go Jason Robertson, +135 for the Dallas Stars. He has scored in 11 of his last 14 games. Robbie tells me that he's in a contract year. Even more reason to like it. The Stars are second in the Western Conference. Robertson +135. Let's hit it.
I love it. Robbie, where are you going?
Yeah, I love that. I've already actually played McKinnon and Draisaitl by themselves, but I'm going to go off the board too, especially since EC's here. And I'm just going to double down on my guy, Chris Kreider. Dude scored 2 goals the last time he faced Pittsburgh. Why not score another one tonight? And that's +200.
Well, damn it. So, EC, just so you know, if Robbie is already on a hockey play, like a score prop, a player prop, or something like that, and I follow it, I tail him, the thing always just craps the bed. We never. So he took my guy. I won't tell you which one because that way it'll still cash. But he took the one I was going to go with. So now you know what? I have no stats on him. Give me Leo Carlson at +200, only because I know it's Anaheim. Anaheim's in Pittsburgh. Anaheim's scoring the highest. They've got the highest goals scored on average over the last 15 days. I think that they put the whooping to the Penguins in this fight of the birds, which should be a Planet Earth segment. If we could get the Ducks and the Penguins to fight.
When did Anaheim get good? Like I thought Anaheim stunk. They're in first place in their division. What happened here?
They got good as soon as DG got this stupid duck hat from winning the game. And ever since then, and he claimed them as his team. So now, of course, the first year he follows hockey, he said, I'm picking the Ducks, and now the Ducks are all of a sudden good again.
Hey, DG, way to go. Got to give him props.
Yeah.
There's no other correlation. That legitimately is what happened.
TJ said it too. They got Joe Quenneville is a Hall of Fame coach. They got a hell of a coach there too.
Yeah, he won 3 titles with the Blackhawks.
Chicago.
So, so I mean, this is a guy I actually didn't know that. See, this I'm not an NHL mode. We're still in football season, guys. I promise. By April, I'll be ready for the NHL playoffs for some futures.
Well, here's a little tidbit of information for you. Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard. They just won their game last night, but in the 2 previous games, they lost 13-1 in a combined score of 13-1. The last time the Chicago Blackhawks were beaten that bad, Connor Bedard's uncle was playing for the Chicago Blackhawks. Great uncle back in 1951. And that's the last time that happened. Yeah. So there's a little family tie to the suckage.
Interesting.
So there's that. But EC, first of all, I do have to say we are running up against it here, and I can't thank you enough. I love, as I'm watching out of the corner of my eye, the chat just seems just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing, and that's because of you, sir. So thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything in particular that you're watching tonight in the world of sports that you're like, I've really got my eye on this?
First of all, I'll say that in a second. What I'm watching is the NBA Cup semifinals tonight or the quarterfinals tonight and tomorrow. There's a lot of good profit boosts. I have a 50% one, at least for me, on DraftKings, one on FanDuel. So you got to use those, put together, 3 or 4 picks, maybe even bigger. I sometimes go bigger, which I probably shouldn't, but if you got to use those. So that's my thing. I'll be watching those wherever I can put the profit boost to use. And then obviously these college basketball games, Jimmy V Classic, Robbie's Florida, UConn is the game tonight that obviously I want to check out. I just want to say what you guys are doing is fantastic. I love seeing you guys in the chat that, I've recognized from the past. You guys have always been so good to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting these guys. And I really look forward to seeing you guys continue to crush it and would love to come on again sometime.
I'll tell you what, we would, first of all, that door is always open. And that would be a huge, yes, please join us. But before we let you get out of here, you brought him up already. Scotty Too Hotty has a question. Do you have any golf picks for this week's tournament?
Fall tournaments I've kind of stayed away from. This one's the Grant Thornton, which is an LPGA player playing with a PGA player. I'm staying away from this one. I did not do any homework. I'm sorry, Scotty. The Sony Open, second week of January. We can talk about that. I will have picks. I'll put something out, but my guys on Early Wedge are always clued in. So hopefully Wedge is back by then. And follow Sia. He's a genius.
Well, he says that you're the prince of the desert. So,
thank you. Thank you.
And Joe, who also lives out in the desert, just a little bit north of you, up in Vegas, says EC might be the #1 guest in show history.
I don't know about that. I'm sure you guys have had a lot bigger ones than me, but Joe, Cheesy, just great interacting with you guys again. That was one thing that, when I stopped doing shows for Sportsline at the end of August with the last Early Wedge, I missed doing that. And now to be on with you guys a few months later really makes me feel good. And I love seeing these familiar names. And those of you who may not know who the hell I am, ignore what I just said. But in all seriousness, thank you for supporting these guys, and great to be on with you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
EC, I do have one question.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bridges you burned, but we've been trying to get me on Survivor. Do you have anybody at Paramount that can hook a brother up on getting on Survivor?
I didn't have anybody on the TV side. I would be great to see you on that. Now, I will tell you that my mom used to be good friends with Jeff Probst's mom. Out here, she lives out here in Arizona. I don't know if they've talked or anything like that. So I could tell you that his brother was my handyman one time and hung TVs for me. I never met Jeff. I never met his mom. And I was told not to bring up Jeff to his brothers. So whatever that meant, I never did when he hung my TVs. So that was many years ago.
I was going to say, so you're saying that there's a chance.
Yeah.
I wish I had more for you, Robbie, but that's a little Probst connection that I had.
I'm known for shooting my shot, so I had to go ahead and do it real quick.
No argument here. I wish I could help. I would love to see it.
And Robbie, I know Survivor doesn't take place until tomorrow night. What are you watching tonight?
Oh, Florida, UConn, 100%. And there's a huge NHL slate. So while I'm doing homework, have the Florida UConn on the TV, my kids' homework, and then I'll have earpiece in listening to one of the hockey games for sure.
I love it. I love it. EC, thank you again so much. We just appreciate you coming on, and know that you are super, super busy, but yes, always grateful.
Well, let me say this. I'm just a guy who likes to talk sports just like you two. You guys are really sharp with what you're doing, your website, your picks. I love following, what you got on X. Keep it up, and we'll do this again soon.
You got it. So with that, listen, for EC, for Robbie, I am so thankful that you all got to join us and be a part of this. This has been great. We'll be back here again tomorrow, 2:00 Eastern time. It'll be Wednesday. It'll be Robbie and me. It'll be time for a little Robbie's Radar. So we'll lock in on the NFL coming up this weekend. But until then, let's cash these tickets. Be kind to one another. Take care.